See, hello everybody. Once again, really thankful for news from Melody's surgery. We're very excited about that. Um, Today, I'm going to go right into the lectionary scriptures. Jeremiah 28. Then the prophet, 28, 5 through 9. Then the prophet Jeremiah replied to the prophet Hanan before the priest and all the people who are standing in the house of the Lord. He said, Amen. May the Lord do so. May the Lord fulfill the words you have prophesied by bringing the articles of the Lord's house and all the exiles back to this place from Babylon. Nevertheless, listen to what I have said in your hearing and in the hearing of all the people. From early times, the prophets who preceded you and me have prophesied war and disaster and plague against many countries and great kingdoms. But the prophet who prophesies peace will be recognized as one truly sent by the Lord, only if his prediction comes true. That's in Jeremiah 28, 5 through 9. And now Psalm 89, 1 through 4. I will sing of the Lord's great love forever. With my mouth, I will make your faithfulness known through all generations. I will declare that your love stands firm forever, that you established your faithfulness in heaven itself. You said, I have made a covenant with my chosen one. I have sworn to David, my servant. Let's see here. I will establish your line forever and make your throne firm through all generations. So there's two scriptures, and in that there's this talk of the prophet speaking peace, and that I almost feel like he was saying that's for this kingdom, that's for everything returning to where it's supposed to be, and almost the excitement in those things that are supposed to be coming. Change is coming. Things will be set right. So it's kind of exciting. And in that, these prophets, I've had this book. It's called I Have a Dream, and it's beautiful illustrations. I hope you can capture those on screen when I put them up. I'm going to read through that book. And it's called I Have a Dream. It's Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech that he did in 1963. My wife and I were 1 year old. There was a lot going on in the 60s then, just like there are today. A little bit different, but we are also picking up where we left off in some areas. In the areas of race, and some of the injustices and things that need to be dealt with are being lifted up and dealt with again today, which is aggressive. There's a lot of voices being heard, a lot, especially now that we have so many mics. So many mics are on, so many videos are on, and we can capture stories. I have my own stories. Some of you all have heard those, and I'm not going to go into detail, but in that, my voice has been able to be heard in Ecclesia Church. Some of the injustices that have happened with authorities, with racism towards me. I've been able to communicate those stories and communicate, and I appreciate that the place for Ecclesia is a church that is listening to people, is listening to our stories, and I want to, and that'll continue on with those share times. You'll have opportunities to get up and share your story. So I am very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for the way the leaders at our church have opened their hearts to new learning. A lot of changes going on today, just like it was when this speech was first spoken. And in that changes, there is a verse that keeps coming up. Behold, I make all things new. Former things are passed away. And from our pulpit, there's a lot of talk of this kingdom that we're hoping to experience, bringing as in heaven, on the earth as it is in heaven. Those words, the excitement of things to come. And I think even myself, like I said, I was born in 62. My wife and I were both born in 62. And so we've been through a few years together. And okay, I'm 58. And seen a lot of changes, and also fought a lot of changes in myself. The changes that maybe I was set in my ways because my thinking, my ideas, and then I had teenagers in the house, and those teenagers were growing in their intellect and their knowledge, and they began telling me things differently. And there was a time where I was not listening. I shut myself down because I know, basically responding to them like, I don't want to hear it, I know. And to the parents that are listening right now, I want to tell you, when you have teenagers in the house, when they get teenage years and when they get college years, don't stop listening. Maybe even listen more. There's going to be more coming at you from them and from their hearts. And I'm sharing that as because it was a mistake. I closed my heart because I thought I already knew my kids and they were changing. And I had them in concrete a certain way and a certain way that I wanted them. So just sharing that as a tidbit. But now we're going to begin sharing from this beautiful book that I purchased for the church. So once we get back in the building, this will be available in our library. Just gorgeous, gorgeous illustrations. The book itself, paintings by Kader Nelson. So I'm going to start here. Let's see, try to give you the page visuals. I say to you today, my friends, that even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream rooted in the American dream. And that speech was held in DC, where thousands of people came. And as you see, there's water there. There's people, thousands of people with signs. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, to hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women, all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. Hope you can see these pages clearly.
They look
I have a
great,
dream.
Andres. They look great.
Oh, good, good. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day little black boys and little black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. Sorry about that. My computer timed out there on my screen. There's another painting. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out the mountain of despair, a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. Another beautiful painting here. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prestigious hilltops of New Hampshire. Let freedom ring from the mighty mountains of New York. Let freedom ring from the heightened Alleghenies of Pennsylvania. Let freedom ring from the snow-capped Rockies of Colorado. Let freedom ring from the Carvaceous slopes of California. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi. from every mountainside, let freedom ring. And there's our speaker, Martin Luther King Jr. And when this happens, when we allow freedom to ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and from every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, Black men, white men, Jews, Gentiles, Protestants, Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing the words of the Negro spiritual. Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. Thank you for listening. Like I said, this will be in our library when we get back together and open up. Hopefully things will be healing soon. People will be healing. A lot will be healing going on. And, you know, in that there's this strain, this theme of love, coming together and having great love for each other, respect. And it's a radical thing. It's a radical thing in the scriptures, the way Jesus walked with this kind of love. The people he encountered, not by accident, the ones he knew needed more, maybe didn't have as much as others. And at those times, it was lepers. At that time, women were not free. And people in need, he came to them. And I feel in that he's just I love that he's our example, that we call ourselves Christians of Christ. We're followers of Christ. And there's a radical revolution there, a radical love. And I feel, and I'm pointing to myself at this same time, that sometimes we're cautious with our love. When I said that to someone today, they said, we're even downright stingy with it. Because we want to decide who's worthy of our love, and who's worthy and who's not. And we give no voice or no attention to some of those voices. And I want to challenge you today and challenge myself to hear those voices. And one way I did it, I feel like I've been asleep here in Chattanooga in ways of communicating some injustices, and I've woken up to educate myself and hear some more voices. And you don't have to go to protest for that. I did one to go, but to listen to voices, to hear their stories, and I heard 5 stories that I've never heard before. And it was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time of gathering together. But in those voices also, their stories are written all throughout the internet. Stories of what's happening in other cities, and that we can come alongside our brothers and sisters, and love them, and if we see injustices, that we can do something about them, whether it be our vote, or whether it be a telephone call to the right place, or talking with people, or just as simple as loving each other with a radical love, with no judgment. And just because there are brothers and sisters because we're related. We're all related in humanity. Not doesn't matter the color of our skin, but what matters is the kind of great love that Jesus has for us, and he calls us to, and to love. He calls us to loving our neighbor as we love ourselves. So thank you for today. Thank you for listening. Love you guys, and we look forward to gathering together. And continue in prayer, just for Melody. And after surgery is still kind of time of rehabilitating and strengthening. So we continue in prayer for her and her family being together, and we thank the Lord for that and everything that's happened. So you all have a great day.